Journal described a hidden stash of war bonds and gold coins he'd buried in a metal chest on his old farm before he shipped out. He'd drawn a detailed map showing exactly where he'd buried it, near an old oak tree behind the storage shed. The farm was still in our family's name, though it had been abandoned for years. My dad had inherited it, but never did anything with the property since it was way out in the middle of nowhere. According to the journal, my grandfather had planned to dig up the treasure when he got back from the war and use it to buy a house for his secret fiancée, a woman named Catherine, who I'd never heard of before. Julia and I looked at each other in complete shock. The next morning, we drove out to the old farm with shovels and the journal. The storage shed was still standing, and sure enough, there was a massive oak tree about 20 feet behind it, exactly where the map showed. We started digging where my grandfather had marked with an X. After about an hour of digging, my shovel hit something metal. We uncovered a locked metal chest about the size of a toolbox. Inside were dozens of gold coins, stacks of old war bonds, and letters my grandfather had written to Catherine but never sent. The letters revealed that she'd been his fiancée before he left for the war, but she'd died in a car accident while he was overseas. He'd never told anyone about her because the grief was too much to bear. The coins alone were worth over $40,000, and the war bonds were still valid. But the real treasure was learning about this whole part of my grandfather's life that our family never knew existed. The letters showed how much he'd loved Catherine, and how her death had changed him completely. It explained why he'd always seemed so sad, even during happy family moments. We decided to keep most of the coins for our kids' college fund, but we donated some to the local military museum in my grandfather's honor. We also found Catherine's grave and left flowers there, something my grandfather never got to do. If Julia hadn't gotten that weird feeling about the flea market, we never would have discovered any of this.